Hello and welcome back to Walk the Cinema podcast, where we walk the cinema so we can talk the cinema. This week, as the title says, we're going to be talking about This Is Spinal Tap. And if you like rock and roll, or if you like movies, you should definitely subscribe to us, because that's all we talk about.
So this was Spinal Tap.
It is.
It's a very interesting movie. I'll give it that.
Oh, that's all you have to give it?
No, but, you know.
Okay.
It's a rockumentary, as what they call it.
Yeah, it's satire of other rockumentaries, which were popular and still kind of are. You get a couple a year. Not that anyone watches them anymore, I guess, but
yeah,
you get them.
But especially in the 70s and the 80s, I think that there was a lot of music documentaries being filmed and put out and stuff, and, you know, they're kind of making fun of it. It's a mockumentary.
Yeah. Okay. This is directed by Rob Reiner.
Yes.
Which, you know, you might know him from...
Is it Rob Reiner or Rob Reiner?
I say Reiner, but...
Doesn't really matter.
He's the director of Princess Bride, and, you know, he's
also done Stand By Me.
Stand By Me and Misery, which are the two Stephen King adaptations he's done, because Stephen King likes him.
Yeah. And
I think he said that the only way he would adapt Misery to the screen was if he directed it. So that says a lot about him. But his first movie was This Is Spinal Tap.
And, you know, honestly, I love The Princess Bride. So I was kind of excited to see, and I've also seen Stand By Me. So
I love Stand By Me.
So,
and I love Misery.
So, you know,
not the feeling, but the movie.
So seeing what he had to do with This Is Spinal Tap was kind of exciting. And it really does have just a strong cast, I think.
Yeah, because they improvised most of this.
Yes, they do.
Which is the only way to go about it.
Yeah. And this movie isn't very plot heavy. I think that was also one of the criticisms, I guess, that it had.
Well, but if it's portraying to be a documentary, it could never be plot heavy.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that it's like not...
It's linear.
It's linear, but like from what I read, they had to add a character in to kind of make it have a plot. Because otherwise they were just kind of like, yeah, it's good, but it's not, you know, going anywhere.
Characters. The director plays the director of the fake documentary.
Yes.
So he's on camera a lot, which I think helps portray this as a real documentary, because I wasn't there, but I heard that when the movie came out, people were very confused and thought this might be a real band.
Yeah, they did.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah, because...
it's too well shot to be a real documentary.
Yeah.
There's too many angles in some scenes that you couldn't get in a documentary, but it does feel like a documentary.
Yeah, and it did fool people. I did read that, and because they were saying even though they had like guest appearances, like Billy Crystal plays a mime.
Well, can't really tell though.
Yeah, it is kind of hard.
They're kind of hidden,
but you can tell. And
well, yeah, we could tell immediately. But
for me, I know she wasn't popular in. I think this movie came out in 1984. She wasn't that popular with people, which was Fran Drescher. But I love her from The Nanny. I love The Nanny so much, and I love her so much. So seeing her was like such a nice little like.
Nowadays, you hear Fran and you immediately know who it is.
Yeah.
So.
And just, you know, as a thing that I was watching the movie, I was like, oh, she was definitely toning down her accent for this. Like
her Jersey accent.
Her trying so hard to sound not like she does in The Nanny.
Yeah, I think now there's no way that you could fool me it's a real documentary. As soon as she's on screen, It's immediately her.
Yeah, but this came out well before The Nanny did, so like I don't think she was as well known, like a household name, which she's not really a household name anyway. But
other houses maybe.
But you know, our household, yes.
Yeah, this is a comedy. It's not a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
It's a satire. We probably miss a lot of the references to other bands.
Yeah.
Which is, some people probably love that. I don't even need that to love the movie.
Yeah. I did see that when this came out, there was a lot of musicians that really connected with it. Like, you know, some of these people being like, you know what, I too also got lost behind stage
that was
at a concert, you know, where they're trying to find where to enter onto the stage, and they get lost behind the scenes, and like they're just kind of.
We laughed so much at this movie.
Yeah.
Even the screens when the DVD's loading up, because we got the DVD, and the screen's black, and they're like, oh, it's more of a pastel black, and there goes our logo. Oh, it's just smaller. It keeps stop. It's too small. And just the DVD menu is enough to make you laugh.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you know, there was, you know, some satire, I guess, with they had a black album. Mm-hmm. Like the cover was all black, and yeah. I think Metallica also had a black album coming out like either pretty soon before or after that. Actually, I think it was before, because I think it was an homage to Smell the Glove.
Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of fun.
It's nonstop jokes.
Yeah. It's
nonstop comedy. It's great performances by everyone, which I couldn't tell you their names.
No.
But
they did such a good job at improvising, because most of this was improvised.
Yeah, because there's a linear story, because it starts after the band loses popularity and they're going on their non-official farewell tour.
Yeah, in America.
They don't think it's a farewell tour, but everyone else does.
Yeah.
So we see the band getting
more and more kind of desolate.
Yeah, until they actually lose a member. And it's not one of the drummers, at least not at first.
Yeah.
Which that's a running joke, that the drummers die.
Yeah, which is like, you know, kind of funny, because that's kind of what rock bands are. They lose members all the time.
That's the joke, yeah.
And that was their take on it, was that every drummer that they've ever had has died under mysterious circumstances.
Including just exploding.
Yeah. Just random spontaneous combustion, you know?
Yeah, I mean, now I'm worried about spontaneous combustion. It happens a dozen times a year. So.
Yeah. And, you know, there's a whole bunch of rock artists that love this movie, you know?
Oh, this is great.
Kurt Cobain loved it. Stephen Grohl, who's, you know, the drummer of Nirvana and the lead person of the Foo Fighters. They both thought Spinal Tap was great.
If you're a rock musician, and you don't love this movie, you take yourself too seriously.
I agree.
Like, especially if you're a rock musician. If you're a normal person, you don't like it, maybe it doesn't connect with you. If you're a rock musician, you can't tell me it doesn't connect with you, you just feel slighted.
Yeah, that's true. But, you know, it's got a lot of jokes.
Yeah, and if you own this, and watching the video or the episode makes you want to rewatch this for some reason, rewatch it with the audio commentary, because it's just as hilarious as the actual movie audio.
Yeah.
The audio commentary in this is great. They're in character for the whole commentary. And it's great.
I also liked the added kind of things that aren't necessarily the forefront of the movie, but just kind of like background type stuff, like when they're having an interview outside, and it's, you know, the director talking to the band about this, that, and whatever, and you hear like the planes overhead passing over. It's just like, that's such a nice touch that they did, because I've definitely watched interviews where they're sitting outside and you hear planes all of a sudden.
And this is a first directorial effort, and you can clearly see he's a great director from the get-go, but he's not a director that gets as much respect as he should, I think.
That's true.
Because he has like a handful of movies that are certified classics in every way, but no one ever mentions
him by name. Yeah.
Rob as his favorite director or top 5 directors or anything like that, even though he has so many classic movies.
Yeah, I'd say that this is probably like one of the best, if not the best, like mockumentary films.
I disagree, but this is the one that kind of started the mockumentary genre.
Okay.
I don't know if it was the first, but it might have been the first that was like really popular.
Maybe.
To a point. But my favorite mockumentary is Man Bites Dog.
Okay. Yeah.
But this is not that far behind.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying he's probably one of the best. This is probably one of the best mockumentaries. He's also been the director of one of the most iconic romantic comedies, Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, When Harry Met Sally.
And the coming of age, Stand By Me, the classic fairy tale, Princess Bride. Like, he's...
The Bucket List. He's done some stinkers, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but like, I'd say that he probably deserves more respect than what he's gotten in the past.
Yeah. I don't think in the industry that he's slighted and doesn't get the respect he deserves. I think in the public eye, maybe because he's not, a director that gets in your face. He's not controversial.
No.
When his movies are good, everyone agrees they're good.
Yeah, I'd say that there are very few people that think any of those movies that we just listed are bad.
Because if you're talking about popular directors that people mention all the time, you got Nolan and Tarantino, and those get in your face, and a lot of people hate it, a lot of people love it.
Yeah.
So they get mentioned more, but I think respect from other directors and from actors that want to work with them, and from the industry, I think he gets his fair due. But in the public eye, I don't think he's in it at all.
Yeah.
As a public figure.
Yeah. Because I don't think anyone can genuinely say, well, there probably is somebody out there, but there's not a lot of people that are like, this is the worst movie I've ever seen. No. Like, I hate it at its fundamental core.
Not out of his top movies, no, but...
I'm talking about This Is Spinal Tap, though.
Okay.
This one
I could say it about Rumor Has It. I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it, so... It's not perfect.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a resume like a Nolan or a Tarantino, but he has a top 5 or whatever you want to say number of movies that are like amazing and classics, and no one can debate that.
Yeah, I guess so. But This Is Spinal Tap has such iconic jokes, such as this amp goes up all the way to 11.
Yeah, that's even IMDb likes that joke so much that on the This Is Spinal Tap IMDb page, you can rank it out of 11.
Out of 11.
Well, I don't think you can rank it out of 11, but it shows the rating out of 11.
Yeah. And it's such a good scene where...
It's hilarious.
Rob Reiner's like, well, why don't you just make 10 louder and have 10 be the final number? It's like, but this goes up to 11.
You're not getting it. This goes to 11.
And, like I've definitely seen like a real artist talk about their billion types of guitars or musical instruments that they have, and it's like, do you really play all of these? Or?
There's also the girlfriend of one of the main singers disrupting the band, which is I assume a Beatles reference.
Yeah, I would say so, because I remember when we were watching this for the first time together, I'd never seen it before, and I asked, is she the Yoko Ono of the band? Because it's like, that's kind of like a stereotypical...
There's a lot... It is playing into stereotypes. There's the stereotypical spiritualism and deep meaning in lyrics that are just not there. Because their lyrics are god-awful on purpose. Sex Farm. The lead bass was talking about how Sex Farm was their new deep song that really shows growth.
Yeah.
They're just talking about plowing your field.
Yeah. And, if you listen to the lyrics, they're just kind of hilariously dumb.
Yeah. That's the point. It's making fun of other bands, and it does it perfectly. And that's why it has the reputation it does in the music industry and in the film industry. It's transcendent, really. It is a very significant movie, because as much as you love Princess Bride or I love Stand By Me, and they're great movies in their own right, they didn't change a genre the same way This Is Spinal Tap did.
I could agree with that.
This Is Spinal Tap launched a movement of satirical mockumentaries that just wasn't there.
Yeah. And I think like the success with being able to fool people into believing that this was a real...
I think it helps that they were the first.
Yeah.
The first big one, at least.
Yeah. And, you know, another thing that made me laugh pretty hard was the fact that they wanted that Stonehenge replica to be 18 feet tall, and then it ends up being 18 inches.
Yeah.
And they still put it on stage. Oh, goodness.
And then the manager just defends himself, even though he knows what he did.
Yeah.
He's defending himself, saying, I do what the band tells me.
Yeah.
And that's when he quits.
Yeah. And then the girlfriend takes over. And she's even worse because, you know, she gets them a gig at a military...
She's all about the signs.
Mm-hmm. She's, like, really into astrology and stuff.
Yeah. Which, you know, seems like a rock star's girlfriend thing. Where she says the band's Virgo, so we gotta do this. And it's
we're in a rising
moon?
Sagittarius.
I have no idea. You can't.
Yeah.
I barely know my own sign, so...
Yeah, you're a Virgo.
Thank
you. You're like the band.
Yeah,
I guess.
Me and Spinal Tap are one.
But yeah, I mean, it ends on a very positive note for the band, where the member that quit comes back.
The drummer explodes out of nowhere, because it happens sometimes, and they go to Japan to tour.
Yeah,
so the band keeps going.
Because Sex Farm became a big hit in Japan, so they
why
were like,
wouldn't it? You know,
we gotta do the tour there.
Yeah, but besides the obvious satirical elements and the obvious comedy, I think there's like some actual sentiment in it where they're trying to embrace their own demise. Mm-hmm. And accept that the band's lifetime's coming to an end, and the bass player says, you don't want to be on stage playing to people half your age, living the rock and roll lifestyle.
Yeah.
And they kind of start accepting that maybe it's over, but then it's not, because it's a joke. It's a movie.
Yeah.
That just wants to make fun of itself, so.
Yeah. I do think that, you know, that sometimes artists kind of stay past their prime. But it's hard, I think, when you have such success sometimes to realize that you're not as successful as you used to be, or like it's time to gracefully bow out, you know?
I saw some news a while ago of Slash, the guitarist, leaving his tour, his concert, whatever, to go to the opening of a new Universal Monster ride or something like that. Mm-hmm. Slash is past his prime, but he's still going.
Yeah. I mean, we could probably sit here and talk about a lot of artists that are past their prime that are continuing
but this one was just on the news recently. Yeah. Well, not on the news, because it's not really news, but...
It's just kind of a fact.
On the articles that pop up.
Yeah, but, you know, it's definitely something that I think is worth watching, for sure.
It's worth rewatching it after you watch it.
Yeah.
It's worth getting the DVD to watch it with audio commentary.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is one of the first movies that Criterion put out on Laserdisc. Mm-hmm. So...
Yeah, you got those extras if you have a Laserdisc player.
I mean, they still have it on... I'm pretty sure they have it on DVD and stuff, but like it was one of the first when they did...
We just have the special edition DVD.
Yeah. Again, we bought it at a thrift store, so, you know, always good.
Yeah, it was a good deal. We'll probably get to Criterion at some point, if anyone cares.
But yeah, I gave this a 9 out of 10.
I gave it a 9 out of 11.
Yeah, I guess it's a 9 out of 11, but it's so good. It's almost perfect to me, I do think it kind of drags a little bit towards the end. Where I'm
Maybe.
like, okay, like...
Honestly, I mean, it's personal opinion. There's no perfection in anything, but it's great. I would suggest it to everyone that wants a good laugh.
Yeah,
everyone that likes rock and roll.
Who doesn't, you know?
I don't know. Boomers?
No, don't call out the boomers.
They might. They have a right not to like rock and roll. I have a right not to like rock and roll.
True. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all we have for this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you'd like to talk to us.
Yeah, we have a lot of old episodes, so if you like this one, chances are you might like the others.
So yeah, we'll see you next time.